These days, it feels like a dream come true for Marvel fans. The hopes that once seemed dead, the heroes we thought had retired for good. Suddenly, the spark has reignited for one of them. We're talking about Thor, the superhero who could summon lightning from the sky with his hammer, who stood alone against entire armies and whose entrance in theaters would spark applause and whistles alike. But what happened in Love and Thunder was not only a shock for fans, but for Thor himself too. That Thor, once the king of Asgard, known for his strength and fury, suddenly turned into a comedy character. Even Chris Hemsworth himself wasn't happy about it. When an actor straight up says that his own film felt more like a parody of Thor rather than Thor himself, you can only imagine how the fans must have felt. But time moved on, and then came the news. Thor 5 is in development. And this wasn't just another baseless rumor floating around. Slowly but surely, evidence started piling up. Chris himself confirmed that he wants to give fans a more serious, raw, and real version of Thor. A Thor who truly feels like a god. A god who can shake his enemies to the core, not some sidekick cracking jokes in his own story. And then came the real twist. The title for Thor 5 was allegedly leaked, Thor Quest. The moment that name surfaced, the entire Marvel community went into a frenzy. People started speculating that maybe we're about to witness a journey where Thor tries to find his lost identity. Because the version of Thor left behind after Love and Thunder wasn't a king, wasn't even a god. He was just a caricature of what he used to be. So maybe this quest is about rediscovering himself. But with this came a major problem. Vision Quest. That's the name of another upcoming Marvel series. So then the question arose, can two projects in the same universe have such similar titles? Could Marvel, a studio known for being meticulous about even the tiniest details, really make such a slip? And that's where the fan debate started. Some believe Thor Quest is just a working title used during development and will eventually be changed. Others think Vision Quest will be renamed, since it's a series, while Thor is a mainline film. Now, since we're on the topic of Vision Quest, let me tell you, its shooting is almost complete and Marvel has done it all very secretly. So secretly, in fact, that barely anything is leaked. But the biggest reveal is that Ultron is making a comeback. Yes, that Ultron, the one who wreaked havoc in Avengers, Age of Ultron. But did you know that Ultron never actually died? See, Ultron isn't a person, he's a program, a software. He can hide himself anywhere in the internet. And if even a tiny piece of his code survived somewhere on a server, he can return. And that's exactly what's happening. Ultron is coming back in Vision Quest, possibly more powerful than ever before. Back to Thor. Chris Hemsworth's personal trainer recently gave an interview saying that Thor's look this time will be different. In Love and Thunder, he had that super bulky WWE-type build. But for the new film, because of the suit design, they're focusing specifically on his arms and shoulders. So he'll still be ripped, but not over the top. And honestly, we agree. The Love and Thunder Thor looked more like a wrestler than a superhero. Now let's talk about the moment everyone's been waiting for, Thor versus Sentry. This fight is officially confirmed now and fans are losing their minds over it. Sentry is often called the Superman of Marvel. Ever since Bob appeared in the Thunderbolts teaser, fans knew that's Sentry. Since then, people have been begging to see Thor and Sentry clash. Think about it. On one side, you've got the God of Thunder with Mjolnir and Stormbreaker in hand. On the other side, a being as powerful as the sun, filled with uncontrollable energy and darkness. The Void. This isn't going to be just a fight. This will be a battle that'll shake audiences to their core. But here's the thing. Marvel never shows one hero completely defeating another. Because if they do, one hero's reputation soars while the other's takes a hit. So fights like these are all about non-stop action and chaos, but rarely end with a clear winner. Now let's talk about Avengers Doomsday. The updates coming out about this film. They're set to put Marvel back at the top of the game. And the biggest one? The Avengers versus New Avengers battle is now confirmed in the Thunderbolts post-credit scene when Bucky says that Sam won't let them use the Avengers title. That's where the rift became clear. And just recently, the actor playing the new Falcon revealed in an interview that this conflict will take place in Doomsday. That means Sam Wilson's team and Bucky's team will face off, just like Civil War. The only difference is that this time the conflict might be deeper, more emotional, and potentially more destructive. Now that Avengers Doomsday has officially confirmed the Avengers versus New Avengers feud, just imagine how massive this movie's scale is going to be. On one side, you'll have the heroes we've grown up watching, the ones whose journeys we've followed and connected with emotionally. And on the other side, you've got the new faces, the next generation ready to carry the weight of the Marvel legacy. This battle won't just be about strength, It'll be about ideologies, beliefs, and the legacy left behind by Steve Rogers, Tony Stark, and the original heroes. Now think about this. Bucky, Steve's oldest friend, is now going up against Sam, the man Steve personally chose to carry the shield. That itself is such a heavy conflict. When their teams face off, it won't just be about punches and kicks. It's going to be an emotional clash that's going to send chills through every Marvel fan watching. And that's exactly what Marvel wants. A fight not just of muscles, but of the heart and soul. Now imagine this. Sentry stepping into Doomsday as Thor's new enemy. Just think about the atmosphere in the theater. Sentry's powers are on a whole different level. He's connected to some of the most dangerous forces in the universe. If he ever loses control and unleashes his full rage, he could literally rip the entire MCU apart. And inside him is the Void, Marvel's own living black hole of destruction. So when Thor goes up against someone who is destruction personified, you know this won't be just another fight. It's going to be chaos. But of course, Marvel would never want either of them to lose clearly, because then fans will be divided. So this battle will be epic, wild and brutal, but probably without a clear winner. Both heroes will walk away equally matched. But there's one thing most fans haven't noticed yet. Thor's storyline in Thor 5 and Doomsday are connected. It's very likely that Thor's quest will lead directly into Doomsday. This is classic Marvel, interconnected storylines that build toward a major payoff. Now let's talk about the bigger picture. Secret Wars is also heading in the same direction. And if you look closely, Marvel is slowly assembling versions of every hero. Their variants, through the multiverse. And in Secret Wars, it'll be variants versus variants. That's why Marvel is also bringing back its original stars. You must have heard the rumors. Robert Downey Jr. might return as a variant Tony Stark in Secret Wars. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is already confirmed for Deadpool 3, which directly ties into the multiverse story. And Spider-Man? We already had 3 of them, Tobey, Andrew, and Tom, all together in No Way Home. Now, if any studio can pull off something this insane, it's Marvel. That's exactly what Secret Wars is being built for. The biggest superhero crossover of all time. Back to Doomsday. The film might not just feature Avengers versus New Avengers, but also variants versus originals. The multiverse is wide open now, and Loki Season 2 confirmed that multiple versions of each character exist. Look at Kang. He's not alone. He has an entire council of Kangs, and every version is different. One is a scientist, one a conqueror, and one acts like a literal god. So when the Avengers face off against them, anything could happen. Thor might face a variant of himself, or Sentry could grow even more powerful thanks to the multiverse. Let's talk about Charlie Cox, aka Daredevil. When a fan asked him if he was appearing in Doomsday, he casually replied, no. But come on, what actor would spoil something so huge just like that to a random fan? Marvel makes their actors sign ironclad NDAs and keeps even the smallest cameos top secret. And let's not forget, just a few months ago, Charlie Cox was spotted training in Australia, reportedly for Avengers Doomsday. So it's safe to assume he's definitely part of it in some form. And the most important thing, Marvel shows and movies are no longer separate. Earlier, we all thought Disney Plus shows were just filler content. But now that WandaVision, Loki, and Secret Invasion have all directly connected to the films, it's safe to say Daredevil's role is only going to grow. Speaking of Thunderbolts, that's where Bob aka Sentry was teased, and Thunderbolts is directly linked to Doomsday. That means Sentry's proper origin might unfold there. Maybe he even loses control of his powers in Thunderbolts, setting the stage for him to become a massive threat in Doomsday. At the end of the day, the Thor vs. Sentry fight won't just be about action. It's the beginning of Marvel's new era. Because what Marvel needs now is that intensity, that seriousness, that endgame level emotional impact. Something they lost post-Phase 3. And Sentry is the kind of character who can deliver that. He terrifies everyone, heroes and villains alike.